Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Onte, and welcome to the wonderful Alpha Talk podcast. And today is a very, very beautiful day outside. It's a Saturday. Today actually marks the third month of me moving to Austin. So honestly, today feels really, really great. I feel very blessed and feel good to actually be in a place that I actually enjoy and I love. And it feels wonderful, man. So if you're out there on Saturday today, make sure you enjoy your day and have fun. But for today's episode, we got only two topics for this episode. It's not going to be a super long episode today. It's going to be a nice, simple, and easy, get to the point and understand. And that's completely it, because these two topics are something that I have extremely been seeing with other people and extremely seeing with my past self that helped me out throughout the times of me being here now. And I just feel like this stuff needs to be said, and a lot of this stuff doesn't be talked about with people or any of these other groups of people out here. And I will say this podcast is 100% authentic, so if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But if you're watching on YouTube and if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you leave a like or a comment and share. That would be greatly appreciated for me. And let's hop into this episode today. We're episode 32. 32. We getting up there. 32, man. We getting up there. So proud of myself. Thank you for all the supporters and stuff like that. But for the first topic that we have for today's episode is heal yourself. Heal yourself. Now, this topic is honestly this is the topic I came up with today, because what I said most recently in my other episodes, when I was talking about social media and how people need to detox from social media and just take a break from social media. Well, lately, I haven't deleted my Snapchat yet, but lately, man, on Snapchat, I've been seeing people that I know for a fact that is either going through something in life that probably has hit me up and is like, I need to talk to somebody, I'm going through this in a football bat, or just something going on. Because everybody on social media literally posts their whole entire life, so it's kind of easy for you to understand what the next person is like going through and all that. So it's not that hard to understand. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people try to avoid, and they know for a fact they need to heal themselves, or they need to get away from somebody that's destroying them and making them feel discouraged, or making them feel like they're just not shit or a piece of shit, And people literally will sit there and deal with it as long as forever. And this is the same thing that happened to me. And it's been almost 2 years now. I was in a very, very toxic relationship. And honestly, dog, it was probably the most draining thing I have ever dealt with in my life. And I've never learned in the process of like breaking up how to heal myself as a man. I've never learned on like how to heal myself until now. And understanding that like you gotta take care of yourself, because others aren't going to take care of you. They're going to sit there and just beat you up and beat you up and beat you up. You can ask them for help all day, every day. But it's like, are they really going to help you? I don't think so. So it's best for you to learn how to heal yourself to get to the next chapter in your life. A lot of people will like to suppress their depression or suppress their sadness with alcohol. It can be with marijuana. It can be with anything. It can be with you hanging out with a person every single day. And honestly, if you ask that person, like, why are you doing this? And like, for a fact, like, that person is hurt, and you just know for a fact, like, they're depressed. But, like, you try your best to, like, talk to them and, like, show them where to go, lead them the way, or, like, give them pointers and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all up to that one person to try to figure out, like, if I'm going to do it or not. And you can talk to that person, try to motivate them, show them motivational videos and all that. But it's like, it never works. And it's like, what do you expect that person who's depressed and all that to do? Because it's like, you're out here going to go buy alcohol and you're drinking all your feelings away. And then you're going to wake up and feel like even more shit because the alcohol is doing this to you. So it doesn't make sense to me on how people don't. It's like they know for a fact they don't want to be hurt no more, but it's like they sit there and deal with it for the longest. And I have personal experience on sitting there and dealing with drama and negativity and being depressed and understanding me, feeling like I don't know what is going on in my life, because people will do that, man. People will literally drain you until you have no more left in you, until your deathbed. and then they're gonna act like they care. Man, a lot of people need to understand this. Your friends and your family, some of them don't give a fuck about what's going on in your life. Some of them don't give a fuck about like your feelings. They don't care about nothing. You can hit up a family member and they probably will ignore you. Now, this is not with everybody. This is with personally with me and a lot of other people who deal with this. A lot of people don't know how to handle themselves and how to heal themselves the proper way. We need more people to be out there and be leaders. More people on the podcast like myself trying to promote the positivity for people who are feeling depressed and are feeling sad and don't know where to go. Because there's a lot of people who are really sad and depressed and don't know where to go. And it's miserable to see. It's miserable to see your best friend or your family member going through all this stuff and all these emotions. And it's like you try your best to motivate them, but they don't catch the picture. So it's like, what do you do? What do I do and what do you do? And what I came up with is being patient with people. You can't always, when you have a baby, you can't force their food down their throat. You got to be able to be patient with them, sing them a song or something, choo-choo train into the mouth. You got to be patient. This isn't like like I always say, this isn't like a get rich quick scheme. This is just part of life, you just got to be patient with people. And it was very, very hard for me to understand that, being patient with myself, because it's always like you got to you got to move quick and do this and that. Like, no, like it takes time, same thing with like working out and lifting weights. In order for you to build muscle, in order for you to look good, you got to hit the gym, you got to eat right, you got to have a higher intake of protein, you got to do certain things to make sure your body is scoped the right way. When they were out there scoping out the rocks and ice back in the day, it took them patience and time to understand how they want this to look and how this to fit right in the spots and all that stuff. So it's like you have to scope your mind onto what you want it to be. The stuff that you listen to, the people you listen to, the music that you listen to, the videos you watch, every day, the stuff that you do literally affects your mindset. And it was very hard for me to get that. Nowadays, don't get me wrong, my favorite artist in the world is Chief Keef, hands down. That'll probably be forever my favorite artist. I love him. I love his music. I love everything about him. It's dope. So I still listen to him, but at the same time, lately I've been listening to Larry June, and Larry June music is very uplifting. It's go-getter. It's a go-getter music. It's about being about your bread. It's about all that. So it's like, if I'm listening to Larry June and I don't know exactly what is going on, then it's like you gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta realize, like, who am I listening to? Well, am I reading a book? Am I listening more to my friends than I am to myself? So I want to give a big shout out to Miss Dolores for coming into the podcast, and she said in the comments, she said, sometimes you don't realize your feelings are still suppressed until something or a conversation triggers it, which is 100%. Oh my God, which is 100% right. Last night, I don't know if you guys don't know, I work at a bar on 6th Street in Austin, Texas. Last night, I was talking to the security guard, and I was like, man, look, I have a question. Do you think, people walk around angry every day? And he's like, yeah. There's a lot of people who just walk around angry every single day. And it just goes to show you, man, like, you don't know what anybody could be going through. That's why I said it's you need to be patient with people. You don't know what anybody is going through in life. Somebody could be having a bad day and you end up saying, well, fuck you, or you say something to them and they go off on you, is because that you don't know you don't know that person. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know nothing about this person, because it's hard for people to be communication skills is very hard nowadays. Nobody knows how to pick up the phone and make a phone call. Everybody's like, oh, it's okay, I'll just text them. But it's like, nah, you gotta be more you gotta talk. Like, it's hard to do for people. This is extremely hard. But you gotta be able to understand, like, there are people willing to help you. There is outlets that are willing to help you and become a better self than yourself. And it's like, people are always, they're like down bad all the time. Like, super, super down bad all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, you have your days where you're upset. You have your days where you don't feel like talking to nobody. You have your days where you're just like, leave me alone, I'm staying in the house and minding my business. Which there's nothing wrong with that at all. That is completely understandable, because some days I'm like that just like that as well. And so it's like you just need to be, if you're a person who has a friend or a family that just kind of needs that little extra push on understanding, like, you got to heal yourself, you got to become the best version of yourself. I've talked to people and they're like, well, we're only 25, why? I got time. I'm like, technically, really, you don't got that much time left to like do what you want to do. So it's like, why wait? Why keep going to go buy alcohol? Why keep, doing things to suppress your sadness or whatever it is you're going through? Why sit there and suppress yourself from it, knowing for a fact that if somebody was to bring up your situation, or if somebody was to ask you about your situation, you're going to get triggered and you're going to go off on that person due to the fact of the person just trying to help you heal yourself. And people are so stubborn and they don't want to give themselves the chance to let other people help them to heal themselves. Like, I don't get that at all. Like, people will sit there and ignore you all day, just so they can avoid the fact of speaking about their situation. Like, people avoid conflict. I don't know what it is, but like, I was the same way. I will always avoid conflict. I will always try to avoid an argument. I will always try to avoid, my feelings towards things, or trying to express things, or trying to communicate with people. I will always try to avoid it. And it's like, why? It's because a lot of people don't have people to talk to. So it's really, really hard for people to like be themselves or try to figure out who they really are. And shout out to my girl Corella DeVille for popping up in the podcast, man. And she left a comment as well, and she said it's hard for some people to take accountability, and she's 100% correct. People don't want to take accountability for their own actions, and it plays into the part of like healing yourself. Like, if you know for a fact, bro, somebody's like pissing you off, somebody's making you sad, someone's doing this and that, and whoop, what does that mean? You need to move around and get away from the person. Everybody's situation is different, but if you can find a way to get away or find a way to avoid this person every single day, do it. And it's like, why are you letting this negative person, this negative energy person, bring all this hatred on you? It should be in one ear out the other. Like, it's literally the most simplest thing ever. But for somebody that's going through it, it can be extremely hard. But once you get the concept of avoiding negativity and avoiding toxic people and avoiding like negative situations or negative music, and like you understand, like, I'm more important than this song, or I'm more important than this video. Like, and people don't understand, like, your daily habits plays into how you feel and your accountability. Like, if you're over here listening to, don't get me wrong, I love trap music, I love all that, but like, I learned now, like, if you listen to it every single day, every day, and it's like, why would I not want to live a trap life, or why would I not want to go sip lean? You know what? Like, why? All that makes sense on, like, it just makes sense. We act on what we view things, and we act on how we listen to things, and all that. Like, just like babies. You'd be surprised. A baby will literally know everything, and you'll be like, well, how do you know that? Because a baby watches you. Like, my dog Hercules, he watches me every day. My every move, everything I say, everything. And that's what I need people to understand is, like, if you're hurt and you're down bad, dog, there's people out here trying to help you. There's people out here that's willing to put in the work and the effort, like myself, to, speak the positive messages to make people realize, like, there's a better side of life than there is to always be miserable. And people don't know how to stop being miserable. So I don't know for anybody that's watching this right now, and if you have friends or family members that's dealing with like depression, or they need something to figure out how to heal themselves, man, be that person and don't be stubborn about it, and help that person out. Now, if you've always helped this person out and they just don't want to take the message and they just don't want to do anything, man, you can't help everybody. You can't help everybody. You just gotta, keep doing you and move on. That's just how it is. Like Corella said, people don't want to take up their own accountability and realize, like, you're in the wrong, and I'm trying to help you, and I need you to realize that there's better stuff than just being sad and draining your feelings in alcohol. And it takes a while for people to be, a lot of people are hard-headed. My dad used to say, a hard head makes a soft ass. And that's 100% correct, because people are hard-headed, and They are just so. People are stubborn, and I hate to say it like that, but people are stubborn. Like, you just can't get behind this pride wall that they have. Like, as men, I'm not too sure about the women out there, but as men, we have very, very strong pride. Like, as men, we walk around with a very strong pride and a very high pride. Now, if you was to go up to a random man and ask him, "Are you going through any feelings right now?" or like, "Is there anything that you're going through that you need to talk about?" And they're more 9 times out of 10 gonna say no, because society has told them that you're gay for speaking about your feelings, or you're a coward for about speaking about your feelings. You're a lame-o. You can't hang out with us anymore because you're too sensitive. It's like, no, that's not true. Like, that's not true at all. On the documentary of Chief Keef doing his therapist interview with the therapist guy literally said black men specifically don't go to therapists because society has told them that if you go see a therapist, you are considered, like I said, a lame-o, you're gay, like all this stuff. And that's why when you ask people, would you ever go to a therapist session, what do they say? Nah, man, I don't need to go to that, man. That ain't for me, dog. But really, at the end of the day, you need to go talk to that person, dog. You need to go shed some tears a little bit. Maybe you need to go cry. Maybe you need a hug from somebody. Like, all this stuff is important. Your self-awareness and all this stuff is important. Like, and I know it sucks that all of us at my age is 25 is starting to realize now, like, you gotta start doing all this stuff, man. It's important, dog. Your self-health and your health is truly important. Like, it is the most importantest thing ever in life. Like, the same thing as you eat. You eat every day, don't you? So why don't you take care of yourself mentally? So I don't get it. So if you need to go talk to a therapist, I wish I knew any therapists that live in Austin area. I will recommend them to you, but I don't. Like I said, today marks my 3rd month of being in Austin, so I don't know. If you need to go talk to somebody, man, I'm always welcome. Hit me up in the DMs. Hit me up on my Instagram, alpha_Onte. Hit me up on Twitter or whatever it is, dog. I will always sit there and talk to you, because a lot of people hit me up asking questions on how to do this and that, and I try my best to give them the best advice. Now, if you're dealing with a situation where somebody is, for a fact, like, you're wanting to help them and you want to do this, and like, you're not gonna stop until they get the help, and they just, they avoid you and they avoid you and they avoid you. Then what is that? That just tells you, like, then this person just must not give a fuck about anything else. They must not care about themselves. Whatever it is, drop it, because at the end of the day, that person is going to end up being a very, very high priority for you to handle. And it's like, if you can't get them caught in the middle, then you shouldn't be worrying about them when they get up here in the top priority list, because when they're way up there, it's kind of like, I can't bring you down. You're a little bit too high up there. I can't bring you down. Eventually, they'll learn throughout life that you gotta be able to do stuff. And whoever is stubborn out there, and you're listening to this and you're going through some stuff and you need to heal yourself, do it. Don't be scared. Talk to your neighbor, talk to your friend, talk to your manager, whoever it is, and express your feelings to that person, dog, and do it today. Because the more and more you sit there and you be in your brain and you be in your mind all day, every day, what does that do? That you lose time on your craft, you lose time in your business, you might end up losing your job, you might end up losing a relationship, you might end up losing a best friend, or whatever it is. Heal yourself and do it the proper way. Now, that's all I have for the number 1 topic for this episode. It's heal yourself. I went in a very, very deep thought about this because, like I said, I was on Snapchat, and everybody knows that everybody on Snapchat posts their everyday life on Snapchat. So I just wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of people that I've met recently and seen on social media that I know personally, that I literally talk to every day, that I know for a fact that they're going through some shit and they don't want to bring it up. So whatever it is you're going through, dog, bring it up from your boy Onte. But we're going to go ahead and hop into the second topic. And the second topic is letting others determine your fate in life. I might end up doing it a little bit, the title of it a little bit shorter whenever I drop the YouTube video. But letting others determine your fate in life. And what I mean by this is because I had an incident happen to me a couple nights ago where, everybody's like, oh, you just moved to Austin, this, that, and over back. And then they're like, my thing is, I never knew in Austin that, living in Dallas is kind of like, living in Dallas, everybody in Dallas is my age. nine times out of 10, they either in a relationship and they live with their girl in an apartment or a house or whatever. But if you're not in a relationship, then a lot of us live by ourselves, and we pay our bills and we pay our rent by ourselves. Like that's just the way I grew up. Being by myself, not having a roommate or anything like that. But like when you come to Austin, you start realizing like majority of the people out here kind of have roommates. And like when people were asking me like, they're like, do you have a roommate? And I'm just like, like, no, what the hell? I don't need no roommate. I can do it by myself. And everybody's like, well, where do you live? And I'm like, I live on the north end of Austin, in the Domain area, in the middle part of Domain. It's called the Domain. And honestly, I never knew that this area was like a high class area. A lot of people have money here. There's a big shopping center and stuff like that. Like it's nice over here. And to me, it's kind of like, this is an upgrade in my life. Like, this shit is wonderful. I've never seen nothing like this before. Like, they have stuff like this in Dallas, but it's like, you don't, I never lived in something like this. And then you got people coming up to me in Austin talking about, oh, you must be rich, or you must have money like that. Like, nah, like, I literally came out here on a fucking dream to be better. Like, I came out here for the lifestyle. I came out here for the dream, everything. I didn't come out here to, like, showboating money or anything like that. So it like a lot of people will sit there and they'll put their own securities and they'll put their own stresses on you and their own securities on you. If a person comes up to you and they're like you shouldn't do that, or why'd you do that, or this, that, no fall back. Well, it's like that person's scared to do whatever it is that you just did. Like, I took a leap of faith coming to Austin. Like, I literally every day will go on Instagram. I will go on our Explore page and type in Austin, or like any part in Austin, and I would type it in, and I would literally sit there and look at pictures of Austin for hours and hours and hours. I would literally like talk about it every day. I would dream about it. Like, this is something that I truly highly want to do. And when you have somebody that sits there and tells you that, like, oh, why'd you do this, or you should move to Austin, or why'd you move to Austin, this is terrible, it kind of pisses you off. It's kind of like a personal thing. It's like, nah, like, that's not why I'm here. You might be here for that, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to take care of my business and to enjoy life and live life to the fullest. Now, if you are scared to take a leap of faith and move out of your apartments with your roommates, or move to a different state, then that's on you, my brother. Don't put that on me. Now, and a lot of people will put that on you. And some people won't even realize that another person's trying to downplay you or downplay your goals or your dreams or stuff like that. Like, people do it every day. Like, if you're talking to a random person or you're talking to a friend, they literally do that shit every day. You don't even have to do anything. Like, they'll literally sit there and just pour out and pour out and pour out. Like, that's just, it's crazy, because people will literally do that. Like, it's so crazy. And people are just scared. They're so scared to, like, take a leap of faith, or they're so scared to get into a relationship, or this, that, whatever it is, they're scared. So what they'll do is they'll go up to the next person or their best friend or a family member and be like, you shouldn't do this. But why should I do this? Because you didn't do it? Like, that don't make sense. And that's what it goes to show you that other people would determine your life for you. How many people do you know right now, anybody watching the podcast on YouTube or Facebook, how many people do you know that every day, your friends, family, whatever, how many people was either going to be a very great athlete or really going to do something, right? But their friends got them influenced into something, and now look at them now. They're not where they want to be, and they're like that because their friends determined their fate for them. That person didn't give, whoever it is, that person, like myself, I didn't let my friends in Dallas determine who I was going to be. I didn't let nobody in Dallas determine who I was going to be. I am becoming who I want to be, not who I'm gonna come up with a random name, Malcolm wanted me to be, or something like that. Like, Deontay is becoming who Deontay wants to be. Now, there's people who won't get, like I said in a couple podcasts ago, people don't give themselves a chance to, be single, or be alone for a bit, or go off the grid for a bit, or whatever it is, grind out for 6 months or whatever like that. Like, people don't give themselves chances to understand that you need to elevate, and you can't let your friends and your family elevate you. Like, you got to elevate yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and when you try to explain this to people, they get super, super offensive. And it's just different times that we live in now. Whatever you talk about with somebody, they get super offensive. It doesn't matter if it's politics or themselves or whatever. Like, they get so defensive. And that it shows you, like, how long have people have been trying to get in your ear to tell you that you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, I've had some people come up to me and they're like, well, my birthday's coming up and I have something planned. And, like, if I don't have no friends come, then I'm just gonna not do anything. Like, this is what I mean by this. Like, who cares who come? A birthday is a birthday. The older you get, the more you start realizing, like, cool, it's my birthday. I want to do something fun. But if I can't find a crowd to do it with, I'm going to have fun by myself. I'm going to go get me an ice cream. I'm going to go eat me a nice dinner. I'm going to go take a little stroll in the park and, watch some stuff and ducks and have fun on my birthday. Because I got into an argument with somebody because of that situation. Because they were always saying that, oh, my birthday is just another day, which it is just another day, but it's a special day. You were born on this day, so you should feel obligated to celebrate that day. But they're like, oh, no, well, if my friends can't come to, with me, then I'm just not going to do anything. That makes no sense at all. Understanding that your self-value is more important than your friends is what's going to get you far in life. Like, taking that time to be alone, taking that time to develop yourself as a man or a woman and educate yourself on stuff that needs to be educated. Bro, I promise you, like, and the thing, I also noticed this too with women. Women are very beautiful. Women are beautiful and their whole little part of life is beautiful. The thing about women is if a man is like working out like myself, reading books, educating himself, not doing nothing negative, pay attention to his businesses and all that, right? A woman can literally sit there and sense and see your aura, bruh. For the men out there that you don't know, the women can literally sit there and they can literally feel yourself. Like, they can feel your energy, dog. Like, it's the same thing with men and women. We can feel the energy of women. Like, we know, deep down, like, is this a good girl or is this a bad girl? Or is a woman, is this a good man or is this a bad man? Like, you can tell by looking at somebody for their first instance. So, it's tough to realize, but all I'm trying to say is, man, you can't let other people determine your fate. You gotta live your life and do what you gotta do, man. Like, it's that simple. And I know it's pissing me off, like, as I'm talking about it, man, because it's so. I guess, now that I'm starting to realize things in life and, like, being in different places now and meeting all types of people from all around the world, being in Austin just 3 months now, it just makes me realize now, like, other people will determine your fate for you and they'll put their own fate in your own life, and they'll make you feel like you're a piece of shit because you're not doing what they're telling you to do. But at the end of the day, as long as you have this up here, God first or whatever you believe in, trust yourself and trust the process. And if you feel like your friends are being too pushy, or you feel like your family or whatever it is being too pushy, leave them. There's plenty more people here and there's plenty more people to go. But that's all I have for today's episode, man. I talked about a lot in this episode. This is a very important episode, man, and I'll make sure in the title for this I'll put something in there to make it be important, because this is important. Self-love and awareness is important. Healing yourself is important. Letting others determine your faith, that should not happen at all. So, it's your boy Onte, man, and I appreciate everybody that was tuning in. Make sure you guys go watch my last podcast from episode 31 on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for leaving comments. I really appreciate you guys for always supporting me, man. We are on the road to greatness, man. So whoever's here now, man, you're going to be there at the end with me. So I love you guys, man. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. This is episode 32. It's your boy Onte, man, and I'm out. And I catch you guys next week for episode 33. Peace.